this is Kamau at policeabuse.com. This is a recorded statement from a client with a complaint of police misconduct. Her name is Monique Young. Ms. Young, tell us why you contacted policeabuse.com, and then please describe your complaint.
Okay, August the 20th, it was a couple of texts by the police. They came up here to do a drug bust, and people was out, of course, watching. And they was telling everyone to go home and, get away. A couple of people wasn't moving fast enough, so they ended up attacking one boy on his bike as he came riding by, and they pulled him off his bike, beat him, tased him, put him in handcuffs, put him in the car, got him back out, beat him again, punched him in the mouth, and put him back in the car. My mom, they told them she was looking for her son, so he wouldn't be caught up in the chaos. The officer wasn't trying to hear that. She started to walk away when he grabbed her from the back, and then grabbed her by her neck and swung around, and she went on the ground.
Now hold on. Let me back up. First of all, what was the name of the police department?
It was Lower Pottsgrove Police.
Oh, sorry. Say it one more time.
Lower Pottsgrove Police Department.
Lower Pottsgrove Police, and that's in Lower Pottsgrove, Pennsylvania?
Yes.
Okay. And do you know the name of the officer?
I have one name. This is like the officer who initiated everything. It was Sergeant Walters.
Okay.
Walters.
So let me back up and make sure I have this right. What you're telling me is that your mom was witnessing an event of police abuse, and as you were as well, and you're saying that some young man was the young man that they snatched off the bicycle, was he committing any crime other than just passing through on his bike?
No, he didn't. I don't think he even knew really what was going on. I guess he just was riding through on his bike, and the officer was yelling at people to go home, go in your house, and get out of here. And I guess he wasn't riding fast enough for them, and they snatched him off his bike.
So they were yelling, "Go home, get out of here," trying to clear the crowd out.
Yeah, but the way he did it and the way he was doing it, he was yelling at kids crying, kids falling down, trying to run, and they weren't nowhere near where they was actually doing the drug bust. He came from behind the tape and walked all the way over to the next court, I live in the complex, yelling at people. These kids, they cussing at the kids too, telling them, get up in the house, and he called one kid a pussy or something because the kid, I guess, said something to him.
Well, you use the exact words that the officers used. You said the officer said to get the F. What? Say the exact word.
Get the fuck back. Get out of here. Go home. And I guess a little boy said something. He's like, get out of here, pussy, or something like that.
Okay, you heard these things with your own ears.
Yes.
Okay, how far were you from the officer who was making these statements? And if you saw him, would you be able to recognize him?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so and how far away were you when these comments were being made?
I was pretty close. I can't exactly tell you how far, but I was close enough to hear and see sweat dripping down his face as he was walking towards the crowd and towards different people.
Okay, so you could see him and hear him clearly.
Yes, and I also called 911. A couple of people called 911, and he's on recording. He's on their 911 tape yelling and screaming.
He's on the 911 recording, yelling and using the same kind of language?
Yes. On my phone, he's yelling. I don't exactly know what they have on their tapes, but he's yelling and screaming and saying, "Get out of here! Go home. I'm gonna arrest you," and stuff like that.
Okay, so he's clearing the crowd out because they're about to do a drug bust, or they had just done one.
They already did it. They have done it. It was over. They were just out there, and I guess they didn't want. He really got like that when they pulled the boy off the bike and everyone started yelling and screaming to stop, and that's
now, let me back up. You described a number of things that are violations. I want to go over how this thing with the bike happened. Now, this kid with the bike was not involved in the drug deal or anything, right? He was not involved in that?
No, he was just riding the bike.
So he came in late after they had already finished their drug bust, and then he drives through. How did they knock him off the bike? Tell me how that happened.
They gripped him up and grabbed him off, pulled him off his bike.
Okay, how old did the kid look?
I thought he was a kid at the time because he was small, but come to find out he was a male. I don't know his exact age, but he was an adult. He's
an adult. Okay, but he was on the bike. They pulled him off, and you said they assaulted him. Describe what they did to him in the assault.
Kicking him. They started kicking him. Our Sergeant Walters actually put his knee in his face while holding his head down while the other officers came over and was kicking him and tasered him. And,
They tasered this guy on the bike who had nothing to do with any of this?
Right, right.
And they punched him and they kicked him. They put their knee in his head. And did they actually arrest him, like put him in the car and take him away?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
When they put him in the car, they actually, I guess he was mouthing off, and they actually opened the door and punched him in his mouth.
Did you see who? Did you see which officer did that?
Sergeant Walters and the other officers. I don't know the other officers' names. It was so many officers. Like like some faces I can remember and some I can't. But I definitely remember Sergeant Walters because he was the aggressor. He's the one who like initiated every single attack that happened.
Okay, now back to this punch in the face. Was that Sergeant Walters or another officer?
Sergeant Walters.
He opened the car door in the back seat and punched this kid in the face.
Yes.
Okay.
I believe it was Sergeant Walters because he was over there, and he was right in the car too. So I seen Sergeant Walters. The other officers, I really can't. I don't know their name and really describe them.
Well, that's okay. I just want to make sure that we're clear on what happened. And if you couldn't see Sergeant Walters, then that's okay. You can say I couldn't see him clearly, but that's what I thought. Was it
over there? Yeah, that's why I said it was Sergeant Walters. That's the main one who was really like being really aggressive with him.
Okay, but let me back up because I want to be clear because they're going to ask you this, and I want to make sure we got it right. Now, when Sergeant Walters was doing all this yelling and cursing, was he also getting physical, and did he get physical with this young man?
Yes.
Okay, so you actually saw him roughing the kid up, just as you've been describing. I'm sure that you saw other officers, but you actually remember Walters.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now they're going to zero in and ask, well, what did he do? Did he do this? Did he do that? If you can give me sort of a chronology of from the first time you saw Sergeant Walters being abusive, walk me through what he was doing. I know he was yelling and cursing at the kids and telling people to get back. When did he engage this guy on the bicycle?
He went back and like near the scene where they did the drug bust, and that guy came out from nowhere actually because I just seen him when he rolled up, and that Officer Walters yelled, "Get out of here!" And before he can get out of there, that's when Sergeant Walters grabbed him off the bike and pat him on the ground, and other officers came over with him.
Okay.
And joined him.
Okay. All right. Now, was there any other acts of abuse before they got to your mother?
No.
Okay. Now, tell me how they ended up taking your mother in and what they did to her.
Okay, my mom seen everything that was going on. My 14-year-old brother was outside. She went looking for him. So the officer said, one of the officers said, "Go home." And she said, "Okay, I'm looking for my son." He said, "Okay, when you find your son, go home." Sergeant Walters came from under the tape, came over yelling, "Go home! Go home now!" My mom said, "I'm looking for my son. I don't care who you're looking for. Go home." And my mom said, "Stop yelling in my face. Don't get out of my face. Don't get out of my face." She turned her back. People pulled her like, "Just come on." She turned her back to walk away. He ran up behind her, grabbed her under her arms, and he couldn't get her because like her breast was in the way and it kind of came up. So he just really hard grabbed her neck and swung her around and got her arm and put it behind her back and put her on the ground.
So he threw your mom to the ground?
Yes.
And was she hurt by the fall?
She wasn't hurt by the fall, but when he twisted her arm up, she had like numbness in some of her fingers. Like the way he gripped her up by the neck from the back and swung her around with her arm behind her back.
How big is your mom? What is her age?
My mom's 4'11". She's like 2-something, 2 something.
So she's a heavy woman, but she's short. And yeah. Was she trying to put up a fight with him? Did she actually resist him in any way?
No. The only thing she did when he grabbed her from the back, she turned around because like she didn't know who he was because he just came from the back because she was going home. He just came from the back. So when she turned around, that's when he kind of grabbed her neck. And he said she was resisting arrest, but she turned around because she didn't know who grabbed her. And he definitely grabbed her and swung her around and with her arm behind her back and had her by the neck.
Now, did he actually arrest her? And if he did, what did he charge her with?
Disorderly conduct and failure to disperse.
Has your mom ever been arrested by Walters before? Have she had any problems with the police before this?
No, not before this, none.